Hi everyone, welcome to Rain Francis Art for Kids. My name is Rain. In this series, Nature and the Universe, we draw everything that's in nature and everything that's up in the skies. So let's begin. Today I'm going to show you how to draw this cute dragonfly. So let's draw. All right, are you ready to draw a dragonfly? I certainly am. So I'll show you what you need for today's drawing lesson. You're going to need a piece of paper. I have a dollar store drawing pad here. It's 8.5 by 11 inches wide. I have a pencil, I have an eraser, and I have an old dollar store paintbrush that I use to wipe eraser bits and dust off of my page. And we are going to need some color. We only need a few colors today. I've got a yellow coloring pencil, I have a light green coloring pencil, and a dark green coloring pencil. Now I'm always using my fine tip black marker, and fine tip just means that it's a small tip instead of a big marker. But if you don't have a fine tip marker, you can always use a black coloring pencil. Of course, you could always use crayons for this too. That would be nice. So why don't I clear my space here and let's begin. Let's draw a dragonfly. So the first thing we are going to do is draw the dragonfly's head. So let's draw a circle. Okay, and then the dragonfly's body, just a little oval, kind of looks a bit like a snowman or maybe a keyhole. And then a little part of her tail here, like that. And her long tail. Dragonflies have really long tails, so go as far down as you want. I'm going to go down as far as my page is. It's a little lopsided, but that's her tail. Let me move this up a little bit. There you go. And now her wings. Now, the dragonfly's wings are very long compared to her body. So we'll start here, right where her head meets her body, and we're going to draw her wings. There's going to be one like this. All right, and then another one, same length, like this. Okay, and we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Let's see if I can do this on the other side. I think that's pretty even. And then I'll make her other wing here. There we go. Now why don't we give her some eyes? She's got big eyes compared to her head. So I like these oval eyes. They're kind of like egg shapes. And then I put another little oval in the middle, or at the bottom I should say. And we'll give her a smile, but we'll fill in all the details later. Okay, now let's add some color. Let's take our yellow coloring pencil and we're just going to color in all of her wings. And if you're using a coloring pencil, you don't have to press down very hard, and I want you to turn your pencil once in a while. Turn your pencil as you're going, because that's going to stop you from wearing it down all on one side. If you wear down the pencil all on one side, then you have to sharpen it, and then it doesn't last as long, and you have to buy more. So let's keep turning our pencil once in a while. And also, you don't have to press down hard, because we're going to add a second layer, and I'm going to show you what a second layer is. If you followed my videos before, you already know what a second layer is. This is the first layer. Adding a second layer of color just means we're coloring it in a second time. And I'm not pressing down very hard at all. But when you add a second layer or a third layer or a fourth layer, you see the difference? This is very bright compared to that. That's why we don't have to press down very hard, because we can add layers. And that way, if we don't press down hard, we're not going to break the tip of our pencil, and you're not going to make your hand tired. Because if your hand gets tired, then it's not fun to draw. So we're just adding a second layer of yellow onto her wing. And we're going to do the same thing with the other 3 wings. If you wanted to, you could add a 3rd layer. If you want the yellow to be more vibrant, you can add a 3rd layer. So that's what we'll do today, or that's what I'll do today. I'm going to start with a first layer of yellow, and then I'll add a 2nd, and then a quick 3rd layer. Dragonflies always remind me of summer. And we're in the month of May now. I'm just adding a 2nd layer, and I'm not pressing down hard because we're going to add some green to this too. And if you press down too hard, you won't be able to add more layers, okay? Yes, so we're in the month of May, and I'm very much looking forward to the hot summer days when we can see dragonflies. Do you know what dragonflies do? They eat mosquitoes. I read that they could eat up to 500 mosquitoes a day. Isn't that nice? So if you see a dragonfly, don't shoo it away. Let it stay in your garden. That way it'll eat up all the mosquitoes. So I've got my first layer done there. I'm going to start with the 2nd layer. This is a very easy drawing for today. I love these big wings. Don't forget to turn your pencil. And if you're using a crayon, the same thing applies. I want you to turn your crayon so you don't wear it down all on one side. We want to try to keep our art supplies as long as we can because they can cost a lot of money sometimes. We don't want to spend money all the time. All right, I'll just do a quick 3rd layer there. She's looking pretty good. Let's do her 4th wing here. Do you guys ever see dragonflies? Where do you see them? Turn your pencil once in a while and don't press down very hard. I see a lot of dragonflies near the river where I used to walk my dogs in the summer. There are a lot of dragonflies there. I guess that's where there are a lot of mosquitoes too, and maybe black flies. Okay, I'm applying my 2nd layer here. And I'm turning my pencil. I love how that looks. You can really see the difference between several layers and 1 layer. We do the same thing when we're painting. To make the colors more vibrant, we add layers. All right, a quick 3rd layer. She looks great. Okay, I'm going to take my light green color now. And what I'm going to do is add a little bit of green to her wings. Not over the whole wing, but just a little bit, about halfway across. And I'm going to do that 1 layer of green, of light green across, about halfway across each of her wings. Because if you look at a dragonfly's wings, they're not one solid color. They're kind of transparent and you can see different colors in them. And our dragonfly here has green and yellow wings. Okay, doing the same thing for all the wings. Turning my pencil once in a while. Okay, how you guys doing? Now I'm going to use that same light green and I'm going to color in her head, and I'm going to be careful not to get any of that green into her eyes. We don't want to get any green into her eyes, okay? So just be very careful that way, because she does have a small head and very big eyes. And I'm turning my pencil to make sure I don't wear it down all on one side. I hope you're doing that too. Okay, and now we're going to do this little part of her body here in light green. Same thing. Don't press too hard and just fill that in with the light green. Now I want you to put a second layer on her head and on that part of her body of the light green, okay? And again, being very careful not to get any green into her eyes. She's looking very happy. I think she's happy because summer is right around the corner. She can go out and fly and eat mosquitoes. All right. Now, if you wanted to, which I think I'm going to do, is I'm going to add a second layer of green to her wing, to her wings, I should say. Because I find it gets a little bit lost in the yellow. You can see that a little better. So I'm going to do that. It's up to you. You can leave it as is, or you can add a second layer. I just want the green to show up a little more. Don't forget to turn your pencil. There we go. That's a little better, I think. So we're done with the light green. Now let's take our dark green. And we're going to color in the rest of her body and her whole tail with that dark green color. My pencil is very sharp, so I'm pressing down super, super light. I don't want the tip to break. Just one layer of dark green because we're going to do something else. I'm going to show you. And her tail. If you can try not to get any outside of the lines, that's great. But if you do, it's no big deal. We're just having fun today. I'm just teaching you how to draw today. How you guys doing? Okay, so I've got that one layer of dark green on her body and on her tail. I'm going to take my light green and I'm going to put a second layer, but of light green. It's going to make it look really, really nice. We're combining colors here. You know, when you're adding layers, you don't always have to use the same color. You can combine all sorts of colors and test them out and see what you get. There's my second layer, and I'm going to do the same thing on her tail. I'm turning my pencil. All right. Oh, she's looking really good. Okay, my friends, now it's time to outline. I've got my black fine tip marker, and like I said, if you don't have one, you can use a black coloring pencil, or you can leave, you don't have to outline at all. But what I'm going to do is outline her eyes. I'm being very, very careful, and I'm going to outline her pupils and color those in black. She's got big wide eyes. I'm going to do the same thing for this eye. Color in that pupil black. I'm going to make it a little bigger. There we go. And I'm going to outline her mouth. And if you know me, I like to outline, so I'm going to outline everything. But you don't have to. If you want to, just take your time, because this is good to teach you patience. I'm going to have to move a little bit here to outline over here. I'm taking my time. This is also good to teach you attention to detail. When you're outlining like this, you really have to pay attention to what you're doing. paying attention to the small little things. Those are the details. There we go. Now I'm going to start outlining her other wings here on the other side. I'm being very careful. I don't want to go too fast. See what happened? I went too fast and I went a little too high, but you know what? That's okay. I'm going to pay attention to what I'm doing here. I hope you guys are doing okay. There we go. I'm going to do her body and her tail as well. Then we're going to add a little bit of detail. All right. I'm going to add some color too because I went a little too far in a certain spot, so I want to fix that up, and I'll show you. What I did here, well, this one I went a little higher, so I'm going to take my eraser and see if I can just erase my pencil mark. That way it won't show too much. And that worked perfectly. And here on her body, I don't know if you can see it, but I went a little too far, so I'm just going to fill in a little green. You can do that, you know, if you went a little far. Here too, on the tail, I went a little too far with the outline, so I'm just adding some green, the dark green, and a little bit of that light green. And that way you can't even see if I made a mistake or not. All right, she's completely outlined. Now we're going to add some details. On her wings, what I want to do is just add a few little black squiggly lines. 2 of them on each wing. And they can touch, they can intertwine, it doesn't matter. I just want to add a little bit of detail so her wings look really nice. It gives it some interest when you add detail like this. There we go. Now we're going to just draw a little line in the center of her tummy, just like that. And we're going to give her some eyelashes. She's a she, so we're giving her some nice eyelashes and maybe some eyebrows. And you might notice there might not be room on her head. Well, you can always put the eyebrows above her head, just like that. And we're going to give her some little feet, just a squiggly line and 3 little toes. Squiggly line and 3 little toes, just like that. And on her tail, let's draw some stripes. You can make them as close together or as far apart as you want. There we go. Doesn't she look cute? I think we're finished with our little dragonfly today. Now don't forget, my friends, I want you to always sign your name. I want you to be proud of the work that you've done and take ownership of the beautiful work of art that you just created. I really hope you enjoyed this lesson, my friends, and remember, Mom and Dad, if you post your kids' art on Instagram, don't forget to tag me. The link is in the description below or in the About section of my channel. So we'll see you next time on Nature and the Universe. Thanks for watching. Bye!